And the third rebellion may be the most difficult one for us to grasp because it describes something you scratch your head and say, did God really do that? We learn from Genesis 11 that the outcome of man trying to build the Tower of Babel, which I'll mention this, that at the Tower of Babel, men were worshiping the creation, creatures. They weren't worshiping gods. There were no gods to worship yet, except Yahweh, and they didn't want to retain him in their knowledge, Paul says in Romans. So the bad Elohim didn't exist yet at the Tower of Babel. But they wanted to do something and not follow God's command to replenish and fill the earth. They wanted to stick together lest they be scattered, and God scatters them. And when he scatters them, he assigns the portion of land, the bounds of their habitation. That means here's your piece of real estate, folks. That's where you're going to live. And there's 70 nations delineated in Genesis chapter 10. It's interesting, the nations are described in Genesis 10, and then Genesis 11 is when the nations were actually created. And Romans talks about God giving them up. 3 times he gave them up. And then we learn from the book of Deuteronomy that what God did was gave them to a number of his supernatural sons, principalities and powers who are good, and says, you guys now rule over these nations. I want nothing to do with them. So you realize God disinherited the nations. You guys, you spirit beings of mine, rule over them and direct them in the right direction. He didn't want them to go off into bad things. And that's what we learn from the book of Deuteronomy, and Moses spells that out several times.